Alright, where were we? I remember. Where were we? We were almost done with the cooling system. I just spent like the last 10 hours setting this up and tinkering with it. And it's very, very nearly working. But not quite yet. I thought about it a bit. And I think I've determined a couple things that we can do. So we can talk about that and go play with that in a second. Gonna start crafting a couple things. We are going to need some insulated tanks for water and for air. And then some pipes, which hopefully we already have. That's going to take more silicon. Throw some silicon in. Gonna need a few of those. Alright, some copper. We got any copper? We do. Let's get rid of this guy. Put it away. Alright, how's that? That's going to make a couple. Let's make a couple more. There it is. Looks like our suit's not good. We gotta go manage that real quick. How about food and water? Food and water are just fine. So I'll close this door. I will poop my bad air into this space, and then we'll just pump that into our breathing room. And right back in. Alright, so let's see. Last we left off, we were having issues with the cooling system. The cooling system's almost working. Almost working, but not quite. It pumps liquid pollutant from this container here, which we're collecting at night. So at night we collect the cold air. This environment has a whole bunch of pollutants in it. When those pollutants hit a high pressure at a relatively low temperature, and like 120 C, something like that, they turn to liquid. We're collecting that liquid into this water tank here, or this liquid tank, and then that is the start of our system. So we pump the polluted liquids into here, they evaporate and cool off. We pump the colder liquid into here, it evaporates and cool off. Colder liquid into here, evaporates and cool off. We keep doing that until we bring it down as cold as we can go. And then in this chamber, that's connecting to our main cooling line for our base. So this was almost working, it was not quite working. You can see a pipe burst right there. So I thought about it a bit last night. I think there's a couple things we can do. What I'm going to try to start is I think we can just add some buffer. If we take the insulated pipe and we run it up towards the ceiling, and then we put down an insulated liquid tank here, then if that thing gets too much pressure in it, theoretically the liquid should push up towards the tank. At the very least, it's going to add a lot of buffer. I don't know if gravity matters in this game for liquids, but just more buffer, I think, might be all we need to keep that pipe from bursting. I know that we can achieve conditions where it will not burst, so that's kind of what we're going for. So let's try that. Let's try adding buffers for the liquid, and then I'm also going to add buffer for the gas. Since we had a couple issues with the gas pipe burst, I put a bunch of, what do you call it? We got little drains there. So if there's any liquid in there, it should get drained, so that'll hopefully stop it. But having more buffer will help. That should prevent condensation in that line, which ideally we're looking to prevent condensation. We pretty much only want to do evaporation throughout this whole thing, and then pump hot air out to the left and out. So just, I think adding a couple of buffers is all we need for this to maybe be working. That's worth a shot. Another thing that we can do too, we've got these valves here. These are condensation valves where we take, if there's any condensation in these air pipes, condensation valves will grab that liquid and move it into the liquid pipe. So we can also do the opposite. We can do expansion valves, where if we have too much condensation, or if we have too much evaporation, too much gas in our liquid pipe, which is why that thing is bursting, then we can let that gas out into the room that it's in, into the tank that it's in, and then that should relieve pressure and keep that from bursting. So kind of two things we can do here. I'm going to start with just adding a buffer and see if that's enough. I think it's going to be, and if it's not, then we can try condensation, see what happens there. So that's where we're going to start. I was also thinking I keep building and rebuilding teeny little 1x1 airlocks. I should just leave these as permanent additions and add another bunker door on top of them so that we can enter and exit if we need to do any more fixing, since we've already needed to do that a couple times. Theoretically, this will get working and be constantly working, so it requires no upkeep. That's the dream. And we'll never have to go in there again. And I've already had to go in there again a bunch of times, so let's just keep a more permanent airlock here. Is this like Factorio? It's kind of like Factorio, but it's completely different in every way. It is nerdy, like Factorio. Like I said, I've got the whole playthrough online on YouTube. If you want to watch it all, I explain it more there. And I'm happy to re-explain stuff a bit, but I explained it much more thoroughly in the longer playthrough. This is a purely engineering game. You're trying to survive in space as a little space dude, and there's a bunch of problem solving, a bunch of engineering. A big part of it, my favorite part of it, is just literal assembly programming. You can automate your base using assembly programming, and that's how you pretty much solve every problem. That's a lot of fun. So like I think the simplest example is probably the grow lights. If we open up our laptop here, take a look. We've got all of our scripts here. Let's go ahead and throw the grow lights over. So like here's an assembly script for grow lights. We define a couple constants for the time we want the light on, the time we want the light off. We define the lights with a hash pointing to whatever light structure, basically. And then we have a main loop. So for main, this is our program. We set our lights to on. We sleep for the time that they're supposed to be on. We set our lights to off. We sleep for the time they're supposed to be off. We jump to main. So this is just looping, turning the lights on for whatever time they're supposed to be on, and off for whatever time they're supposed to be off. And that's running these lights, which are keeping our ferns growing and producing oxygen for us, keeping us from dying. That's probably the easiest example. There's a lot more complicated stuff. You can do some crazy stuff. It's a full-on assembly programming. It's just a normal MIPS editor where you can do all kinds of things and all kinds of stuff. So if you are a programmer person, this is a lot of fun. And if you're not a programmer person, there's a good amount of stuff on the workshop that you can use where you can just kind of like download scripts and maybe try and chop them apart a little. Maybe do a little vibe coding with ChatGPT, although when it shits the bed, you're going to have trouble debugging it. Super fun game. Lots of opportunity for problem solving. Love this game. And like I said, this save is like 20, 30 hours deep. This one's getting pretty far. This save, we're doing pretty well. We've got a nice, this is a big vacuum room. There's no air in here, just the teeniest bit of pollution from us running the spray paint can. So this is like an easy spot to hang out. We've got one little room that we can breathe in, only a small space. We don't have enough oxygen to do much here. Why are you off? Uh-oh. But yeah, this is going good. This is a good base. What the fuck's going on there? Let me take a look. That should be on. We got power correctly? Excuse me, could you excuse me? Could you excuse me? Excuse me. Could you excuse me? I gotta check on this, please. Thank you. Power. Power go. Power comes in through here, comes along. It's powering these, which are powered. Goes this way, powers this. Why is this not on? This should be filling this guy up. That's sketchy. You have power. You're turning on. I don't know why this isn't running. Okay. We might look at this in a minute. Anyway, we've got a vacuum room. That's where we get all our work done. The vacuum is safe from the sun. It's a relatively safe spot to chill. And then we've got a breathy room. This is the one spot in the game. We have a little 3x1 where we can breathe. This is the only one that's got any oxygen in it. And it's been piling up with CO2. We just turned the plants on to convert that back to oxygen. So we're kind of treading water a little bit here. These are producing just enough for us to breathe, to compensate the breathing that we do. But we're going to need to add some cooled carbon dioxide sooner than later. So they're going to run out of carbon dioxide, stop breathing, and then we're going to choke to death. Complicated game. Things are happening. Okay. I'm still confused why this isn't on. Ah, that's why. It's missing a wire right here. That's important. There it is. Now you turn on. Good. This is our filtration system that is... It pulls in air to achieve minimum pressure in this pipe, and then it will run the filtration to pull oxygen out. The oxygen goes into our oxygen tank, so this is how we're breathing when we're out and about. And then excess gas or other gas, not oxygen, just gets vented right back into the room. So important that this thing runs, or we will run out of air in our suit, and then that will be a problem. Alright, we eat a little, we drink a little, we're chilling. Let's go take a swing at getting that cooling working. It's super close. It's just very temperamental. It is, it's a complicated build that has extremely high pressures. It's like right on the limit of what all of the various pipes and tanks are able to handle. So I'm not surprised to see it not working correctly on the one hand, and on the other hand, once we get it working correctly, then it should require like no maintenance in theory if we get it right. Alright, I think we've got enough of gas tanks. We want 4 or 5, and then we're going to need a couple liquid tanks as well. So what are the insulated liquid tanks? Insulated liquid tank needs steel. We've got some steel. Do we have steel? We might be out of steel. Alright, time to get steel. We start with farming. Let's get some farming done. Swap out a couple batteries. Swap out the chip that we're using. So instead of seeing through walls to see where our wires are, we can now see through the ground to see where nodes are. Steel is just 3 stacks of iron to 1 stack of coal. And then we'll run that through our furnace. Let's grab some steel. You drank too much and you're exhausted? Sleep. Enjoy sleep. Enjoy terrible alcohol sleep. Those are the worst sleeps for me. I do not miss that at all. I feel like I wake up completely mentally unrested, just like nothing happened. Physically, you process alcohol a little bit and get a little rest, and mentally you're just like, what? It's like you've been up all night, at least for me. Anyway, you can't hear this because you're asleep. Have a nice unconscious. I hope you enjoy your time unconscious. I hope you have good dreams. And you don't dream about being chased by the police. Those are stressful dreams. I don't even know why they're chasing me. Somehow I forgot how to drive my car and just started driving it into shit, and then I tried to run away or something. These are me problems. Alright, let's just fill up the bag with resources. In the future, we will set up automation so that we can just dump a bag in a chute and it'll automatically be emptied and sorted and smelted and stored into storage. Make it much easier to do things and stuff. That'll probably be pretty quickly after we get the cooling set up. Right now, top priority is cooling. This map is hot. This is Vulcan. Vulcan is hot. Vulcan right now, you can see on the right, it is 127 C at night. So this is as cold as it gets. And it's still more than hot enough to boil water. And then during the day, I think right now, because it's based on the season, it's getting up to like 1,000 C plus during the day. It's getting extremely hot. So the heat is the threat on this planet. And as we expand into the later game, we need to have good cooling systems. So I've prioritized getting that set up. Pretty much got a base going, got a furnace going, upgraded our gear, got trading going. Trading is the only thing keeping us alive right now, giving us food and water. And then the moment we got to that point and have a little bit of breathing room, it's straight into getting the cooling going, and that'll really allow us to expand. Alright, let's run the furnace. I save in case I mess up. We're going to empty the cold gas. Going to turn off the activate switch. And then we're going to start schmelting. This is 3-to-1 ratio of iron to coal. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. I think we can do one more here. 1. Okay, get in there. 2, 3, 1. Alright, we turn off the exhaust switch, bring in the hot switch to just pump in the hot air from the middle of the day. That brings the temperature way up. That stuff keeps smelting. And that'll give us enough pressure to, enough heat and enough pressure to create the steel we want us to create. So let's let that heat up for a minute and melt in the smelter. And then we'll finish that recipe off in a second. That should be a bunch of steel. Anything else we need? Probably cook the copper. Water is good. Alright, how we doing? You still melting? I think it goes up to, what are we doing? Are we doing 600? $600, okay. We will empty the gas since it's a little bit too cold. That gets exhausted. We will turn on our activate switch. So as soon as the recipe is ready, it will make it. And then we will add a little bit of heat, bring it up to where we need, and that should do it. Okay, steel. Break it into a few chunks. There we go. That should be enough to do all the building we need to do here. It's not very, a little bit of steel, a little bit of silicon. It's not very expensive. Alright, turn this guy off to save power. And where were we? You needed steel to make some insulated tanks. That should make plenty. We need more silicon. Okay. I'm just gonna cook some copper. Why not? Just throw it through. Should go straight through at this temperature, no problem. One is not enough. Alright, we craft. Alright, so I'm thinking one here. This will be for... actually, this should be facing this way, I think. So like I was saying, these are just buffers for the air line and the liquid line. So we'll have one of these buffers for every room. Then do the same with the liquid. Need one more air buffer here. We can paint them too if we want. Make them yellow. Yellow for pollution. 900 Celsius outside right now, so not a great time to be outside. Our only cooling system is it takes the cold air from our tank, puts it into our suit. When the suit gets too hot, it pumps the hot air into the exhaust and fills up our exhaust with hot oxygen. So that's not great. We're just collecting heat. Got to be careful with that. We need one more of the insulated gas tanks. Okay, need a little more steel for that. These guys are pretty expensive, but we already have bought everything we need more or less. 5 liquid tanks is enough. We can empty our exhaust tank real quick. Move that into the air room. Okay. What up, guy? Look, I'm playing a different game. You missed all the other game that you like. I did some Battlefield for a while, and then I was like, nah. Maybe next game. Maybe next game. Alright, what else do we need? We have enough pipes. We do not have enough insulated pipes. We might have enough liquid pipes. So make some insulated gas pipes, please. These are much cheaper. It's like 1 silicon, 1 steel. Make me like 100 of those. Let's give it a little more silicon. Alright. I hate 2042. It's a love-hate relationship. It's got its issues. It's like almost great. It hurts me. It hurts me every day. But it's all I got, you know? You gotta eat something, and that's all they gave us to eat, so I guess I'm eating that, but I'm not happy about it. Definitely feeling ready for next game. I think the whole world's feeling ready for next game. Okay. I think we only need 4 of these. Alright, spray paint these guys yellow. What else do we need? We're gonna need a couple bunker doors for the new little airlocks. Should check ads too. Ads are good. Okay. Got 15 minutes. Alright, those go there. I was looking for a bunker door. Bunker door. Blast door. A little more steel. Those are really expensive, like 75 steel? No, 15. I misread. Okay. I hope you like sad piano, by the way. I love a good sad piano. Okay, got those. Let's fill up the jetpack. That didn't do it. I need to turn that on. There it is. Alright, it's getting colder. Not a bad time to go outside. Blast door go here. With one rotation. There it is. You two. These take just the sheets, no welding torch. And a crowbar. No sheet. There it is. Oops, wrong button. Where'd that go? Did that just like disappear? Where did that sheet go? There it is. Alright, so we now have little manual airlocks here. We're going in and out of the rooms, since we need to go in here to do some construction, and these guys are at high pressure right now, and we actually don't want to lose that. That's kind of valuable pollution. It takes a long time to pressurize these rooms, so we don't want to blow that all away. It'll also, as long as it is depressurizing, that's going to be like a giant air gun that shoots us around and shoots us into space. So we need to make sure that the air is not blowing around. We have like 50 atmospheres of pressure in here, or something ridiculous. Alright, so we're going to take the liquid line, we're going to run it up to the liquid tank. We're going to take the air line, we're going to run it up to this guy. I think we can do that now. Let's switch out the see-through thingy so that we can see through thingies. And let's try and adjust this. Can I do this from right here? I'm going to save just in case. We're going to try and just say, you go down into here. Okay, so this is just extra buffer for that exit line. That's one done. We can do that for all of these. So we'll do it one at a time. Let's get in here and do the liquid line. Gas is good for first chamber. Let's do liquid. Okay, so we have to close this with the crowbar. We'll save just in case this goes funky. We'll fly into the corner so we don't get blasted around too bad. We'll open the door. We'll get blasted around too bad. We'll save scum. Nice. Nice, that's beautiful. Nice, that's perfect. It's just what I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you, game. Gorgeous. Just shove me into the corner as hard as you fucking can. It's perfect. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, this room pressurizes, and then we can go down. Alright, let's see. So, I think it is as easy, let me turn this off, easy as replacing this broken pipe. This guy goes, are you damaged? Are you damaged? No. Everything good? Everything's good. Okay, so you go back. And then we'll move this up to the buffer line we have above. Right there. Okay. Let's see if this works. I'm not 100% sure. Like I was saying, we can add an expansion valve to get gas out of this line if we need. But hopefully we're good with just this. Could you stop fucking bullying me, please? Are you serious? Let me out of here. Why? Let me go. There we go. That is weird. Why all the airflow? Is it you filling with air? Maybe? I'm just curious. What's going on here? Yeah, and this pipe is just like matching whatever we've got going outside. 99% pollution at 3.5 megapascals. No liquid in there yet. Just a teeny bit of liquid down there. It's evaporating and getting us up to pressure. Alright, anyway, so I think this is one chamber down. We've now got a buffer for the liquid, and we've got a buffer for the gas. And then we can do a little bit more if this isn't enough. But hopefully that's all we needed. Close the blast door. Save just in case. Open the blast door and get shot into space. Whee! It's a lot of pressure. Alright, same story for the next one. We go in, close door, we save game, fly to the roof for minimum bullying, get bullied a little, not so bad. Once this room fills, we can fall. Okay, same story here. That one goes there. This one goes up to there. Yeah? Up to there. Okay, yeah. Perfect. So, let's see. We will do the gas pipe first. Go right there. There's our gas buffer. Then liquid needs to go to that one. No problem. So liquid gets moved along this way. And up. Alright, there's another buffer. So buffer line here. Any damage to anything? I don't see any damage. I think we're good. And fucking bullied straight into the hole again. Getting bullied. I'm pretty sure the wind starts when we create this. So it's just this buffer filling with gas, basically. That should slow down momentarily. Alright, so I think these are the only two rooms where we have any sort of pressure. I think we could just waltz straight into the other rooms without any trouble. I'm gonna save, open this, go flying. Big sneeze. I'm dying. Oh, excuse me, I'm dying. Alright, that's 2 rooms down. That's the only 2 tricky rooms. Let's do the others. Just open these guys up. If they have like any gas in them yet. These rooms have not yet been pressurized whatsoever. Just been trying to get the first 2 rooms to work. And then the code is set up such that if we see it working there, the rest should be working okay, in theory. We'll see what actually happens. Alright, into here, you go here. Let's just do all of them at once. So that's the gas for that room. This is the gas for that room. This is the gas for this room. And then we can do the liquid pipes. Liquid pipe. There is no liquid pipe here. Since this is the last room, so this room's done. This one's got a liquid pipe that needs to go up to here. Okay. Can I do the long pipe? Long pipe. Oh yeah, look at that. That pipe is long. Big pipe. Okay. That's another room down. One more to go. This guy goes to here. Give me that long pipe. That's... Whoa, dude! Too long. Too much. There we go. Give me the one pipe. Normal, boring old pipe. Okay, corner's fine. I'll do corner here. Corner here. Straight down here. Corner here. Okay, there we go. So all of these now have a pretty large buffer. Let's go ahead and close these up. Alright, now I am not confident this will work. Seems better. Seems good. Maybe. The only other thing I was thinking too is that right now in our code we have it set up so that the maximum pressure... Just one second here. Let's open up the code for this guy. If we import and we edit, and then we pause game, the maximum pressure for the exhaust is 10,000. So this could be problematic, particularly 10,000 isn't going to burst pipes. 10,000 pressure, 10 megapascals is just fine in a pipe. They can handle up to, at 40 they start to make noise, at 60 they will take damage. So this should be okay, especially considering we have the condensation valves to let out any liquid that's gathering. The drains, I mean, will let out any liquid. However, the reinforced walls, let's take a look if we can even see. The reinforced windows have a maximum pressure of 8 megapascals, 8,000. So this could overpressure the rooms and cause the walls to blow out if we're not careful. So instead of doing 10,000 here, let's do something smaller. We'll do 7,500. So we're going to stay 500 kilopascals below the point where it would start to damage the windows, and then that should keep any damage from happening. This plus having a big tank up above as a buffer is hopefully good for preventing any problems. I'm going to save this. This is our pollution chamber. We overwrite the code. We confirm. We export. And we're going to need to update each of these. Export. 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 I feel like I didn't see. This one didn't click. Let's try that again just to be sure. There it is. Export. All right. I think I've only got one more. Pretty sure I already did this one, but it doesn't hurt to do it twice. Okay, so these are all running the same code. They're all doing the same thing of just trying to pump liquid through when the previous room has some liquid that can't be pumped. And the only difference is they're looking for different max pressures. They have a memory chip which will define what the max pressure is in that room. And if we look at the pollutant, we can see that at different pressures, it's going to evaporate to different temperatures. So each room is dropping like 1,000 kilopascals. Temperature will go down by a big chunk with every drop until we reach that last room at 2,000, which is like -80. It's very cold. So the cold moves right, and then we'll have lower pressures. That air gets pumped left, and eventually gets condensed and dumped out into space again. Okay, I'm going to save. We're going to turn this stuff on and see what happens. I want to just start with this first room here. Let's start with the first room. It's almost reached the pressure point where it's going to start condensing and creating liquid. And then I just want to see what happens. If we don't turn on this room, then we shouldn't be relieving any pressure by moving any liquid over. So let's see what happens when this thing fills up and then that drain stops. Is that going to be too much and break the pipes still? Or is the buffer that we added going to be enough to prevent any damage? We'll find out. I also need to run ads and use the bathroom, so I'm going to go stand in the only area we can breathe and get rid of the debuff we're getting for being in a suit and being outdoors, being in bad conditions. We're going to chill in our breathy space for a moment, and I will use the bathroom and run ads. I apologize for ads. I'm so sorry. Okay, seems good. Into the corner. Back in a second. Okay, here we go. We have returned. We will swap out the air tank for one that is full. Put on the clothes. Actually, take the clothes off. Let's keep eating cakes. Eat cake, drink water. Oh, and turn off the AC. 16C. That's a fine temperature. We're good. Alright. There's that.
Oxygen low.
Oxygen is not low. You're fine. Okay. How are we doing? Can I tell from here? I can see... air being released from the big tank. I can see that light is still on, which means this guy's still filling with liquid. Let's go take a look in person. Let's see how we're doing here. We still got explosions. Are you still problematic, or are you going to start working? Still running, still filling. If I remember right, at about 4.4 at this temperature is when we'd expect to see condensation. We should see the room fill up, and that's going to be the point where we might have troubles with liquid. We'll see. We will see, we will see. And I'm going to pull this console off. I need this console. Console is gross looking. This was originally for some debugging that we are not doing anymore. We never even set it up. It was for theoretical debugging and it did not happen. Alright, I'm going to save now too. About now is when things should start breaking, I think. If they're going to break. What's the plan? What are you going to do? Also, it is 1100 degrees out right now. It's a little spicy. Ooh, big moon, baby moon. Wow. They're gonna do the eclipse. They're eclipsing the black hole. Isn't nature beautiful? Alright, this is about the point of condensation. And pretty much the whole room should more or less immediately condense. How is my thing? It looks like it's matching pressure for air. We see pollution starting to condense into liquid. With very little liquid currently, but it's starting to turn up. Just hitting that point of condensation for this temperature and pressure. We can see the liquid volume rising. Alright, are you gonna fix it? Is that enough of a buffer? Or are you gonna explode? We'll find out. Hopefully this is good. We can do the expansion valve if this is not enough. And then hopefully that is good. And if that doesn't work, I'll just scream at the sky. I'll scream at the sky, and I'll throw my computer out the window. That's the game plan. Alright, so we can see the liquid piling up. This thing's still going. This first room is targeting a pressure of 5.8, I believe, 5.7 megapascals, something like that. We should see it a little bit below that as the temperature is low, so that'll bring the pressure down. And once this room, this sensor right here, once this is filled, once we've basically filled this reservoir, this guy should stop. So we're looking to see this thing stop, and then we're looking to see no pipe damage. No pipes exploding, which we should be able to tell pretty quickly, just based on like the audio. We'll hear it start groaning and cracking and breaking if there's any troubles, and then we can go add an expansion valve. Getting close here, though. It's filling with liquid. How are you doing? You still got liquid? You have 3,000 liters of liquid. You have plenty of liquid. Cool. I think all the screaming is from these pipes, which is expected and okay. These guys have been running for days without trouble, doing what they're supposed to. Make high pressure, fill this thing with liquid. Just high enough that we've got plenty to work with, but not overflow. We're getting close. The visuals aren't quite right. It kind of teleports around. What else to do? I feel like I'm just watching the pot of water boil. We should probably do something else. What's up next? What do we want to do next? Pretty much once we get the cooling working, to get this cooling line cooled off to negative 60, negative 80, something like that. I think the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to start doing some gas mixing, basically. We're going to want to collect the... we've got... The atmosphere here is full of carbon dioxide, pollutant, and volatile. We've already used the pollutant for cooling. We want to collect the volatiles and the carbon dioxide as well. Those are both going to be necessary for us. Carbon dioxide we want to cool off and use to run our greenhouses. This is going to be what our plants eat, and it needs to be a lot colder than 127°C. So that's what that cooling line is they're gonna come in there to make that happen. Same thing with the volatiles. We want to collect volatiles, cool them off, and then combine that with the oxygen to make fuel. Fuel for our furnaces, and fuel for generating water. Basically, you can convert fuel straight into water. And then we'll even use this cooling system to cool off that water as well. This will cool off our everything, basically. Alright, and I think I see the light is finally off. How are we doing over here? Are you out of power? Oh. Interesting. Oh, yeah, you're fucking drained. Well, that's not great. Okay. Problem. I mean, not a huge problem. The base is running out of power here. We need more power generation. A couple ways we could do that. One is to just slap on more solar panels. I think that's probably going to be the easiest method. That might be what we want to do. Right now, this is the season where you can see the sun moving across, or the black hole moving across the sky. It goes slow, or it goes low, and the days are very short. So right now, solar power is actually not very great. We might want to mix this up a little, I think I might just add a couple solar panels because it's quick and easy. But it would make sense to make a line of windmills as well. We could have 2 sources of power. Or even to use the, I think, turbines. To use the difference in the pressure and the heat from the peak of the day to the cold at night. Right now we could be taking this hot air, pumping it through a turbine to generate power until we reach whatever amount of power we want. That might not be a bad idea. Let's see, so I'm going to turn some stuff off. Just going to turn off everything, basically. Critical things are still going. These are These have a backup battery power here. If we open this guy up and take a look, let's see how it's doing. Oh yeah, he's happy. Same with you. How are you doing? Oh yeah, you're happy. Good, so our airlocks will keep working at least. And our plants won't shut off. That's important. Alright. I think we have to wait to the day, and then we can do some solar power. Let's add a few more solar panels. We can just run it down the line. Maybe a couple more solar panels is all we need. I might do windmills. Let's do windmills. Can we look at what that takes? Wind turbine. What does this cost? This is copper, steel, and electrum. We have steel, we have a little bit of copper, we've got a lot of electrum, so we should be able to pump out a bunch of these without issue. Let's maybe add a line of windmills and see what happens. Okay. Can I start crafting that? Make some space for windmills. Solar power lives here. I think we're actually going to want to bring it up eventually. It needs to be at like the very top of the base. I want to bring the ceiling up. So we might want to move these eventually. With that in mind, we might want to put the windmills a little higher. How high can we go without an issue? Up to here. Let's do something like this. I remember windmills, I think it's like 3 wide. That's what we're going for. Okay. And this is going to pretty perfectly block the sunrise. This is going to be adding some shadows to our solar power, which is not great. Might want to move those up sometime soon-ish. Okay. So we'll have windmills here. Gonna want to run heavy watt wire. Something like this, if I remember right. Okay, and I think for now we might just want to plug it straight in. We might want to use a transformer here to be certain that we don't overpower the line. This line can handle 100 kilowatts before it's going to break, which normally is pretty difficult to achieve. But during storms, we're going to have a lot of power on the line. That plus solar power might be enough to blow the line. So we might want to use a big transformer here and just limit the amount of power that can go through the maximum amount of power. That might not be a bad idea. Okay. Just gonna cannibalize these real quick. It's gonna be a little ugly. Oh yeah, the night is... It is a lot of night. It is dark for a very long time. Getting some wind power during the night is probably going to be helpful. We're also spending a lot of power getting the initial cooling set up. We're spending a lot of energy generating all the liquid pollution and filling up all the chambers. And I've just been like blowing it out into space as we've been repeatedly making mistakes. So that's not a good use of power. Once this thing gets filled and actually cools off the line, it'll just stop running and idle, basically. We should have less power output. Or less power required. Alright, I think I have all the mats needed. Is that the case? Let's take a quick look at the solar power, too. I've been trying the whole save. We've been trying and failing to get this thing to run correctly so that it'll turn off at night. On is 0. Activate is 0. Maybe we can use activate. I just want a variable for like is day. When it's night, we want to not be adjusting the solar power because they're blowing through power as they move. If I already used 20% of this battery, I don't know if that matters. I don't know if I care. It's something to do. Might as well. Okay, let's try and throw this in here. We will import, we will edit, we will say is day is now going to be not on, but activate. Let's try activate. Is activate going to work? And then we will add this code again. Put this here. You should just go to whatever default position is and then stop moving. Which that looks wrong. That's the complete wrong direction. Right logic, wrong direction. Let's see. Vertical, horizontal is 60. Vertical is 20. Horizontal is supposed to be like 260, if I remember right. What about that? Should be faced that way. We just want it to point to wherever the sun's going to be coming up. Which is about that way, right? Okay, stop. Thank you.
Waste tank caution.
Okay, so that's working for night. Let's see if that turns on correctly during the day, or if I need to comment that code out. Gotta wait for daytime. Or batteries. Alright, our waste tank's full from chilling outside. We dump the hot air into our breathy space. Chill for a second. Just kind of waiting for day here. We're super power starved. Waiting for day. We may actually want to turn off all of the pollution stuff until we can get a couple windmills down. So that we don't run out of power again. Otherwise, we might waste all our power, what little power we're generating. We only get like 5 minutes of daytime and then just blow it all on polluted liquid before we get any solar or any windmills created. That would be not great. Just chilling. Nothing to do but wait for the sun. Maybe eat some cake. The sun. Praise the sun. The sun is good. The sun is also a black hole and not at all the sun. Alright. Let's take a look. Are you guys tracking like you should be? Or are you facing the wrong direction? You're currently facing the wrong direction in the worst possible way. That's not good. On is 0. What about activate? Activate is 0. So activate's not the logic we want. Okay. So for like the 5th time, we're gonna comment this part out. Activate is not it either. Let's just keep tracking the sun because we don't want to miss this sunlight. Now these guys are going to rotate. It's going to take a second. It's a little gross, but they're getting there. And they will do the thing. Turn that off. Let's move over here. I want to turn off my various things. Okay, all these guys totally off. Save some power. Now we should be generating a little power. It's just like filling batteries. Look at that. And it's perfect. The sun is perfectly... it goes perfectly across the sky to like maximize shadows. These things are not working well at all. 30% efficiency. Ah, fuck. Even the satellite dish is blocking it. It's like I couldn't have built it better to do poorly during the seasons where we need sun the most. Alright, give me some windmills. We gotta get some windmills down. This is our only source of power if we can get it done. Wind, turbine, copper, steel, electrum. Alright, let's do that. Give me some wind turbines. And then I want one large transformer, so that we take the power from the wind turbine, throw it through a transformer, that goes into the main power line. The main power line never gets overloaded with the solar plus the wind. Transformer, large transformer. Large transformers coming. Back to wind turbines. Make as many of these as you can. Let's get a bunch of wind turbines. We'll probably put up 10 or 20, and that'll be helpful. What else could we do? Maybe do a little painting. Some nice floorboards down, make it look a little more reasonable and presentable. Okay. Oops. Oops, keep clicking the wrong button there. Ooh, look at that. We got a floor. Very professional. Alright. Let's add some power. Okay, the wind turbines go like this. Looks like I put too many wires here. Try that again. Wind turbine go like that, and then like that. Okay, and then those need to be crafted. What does it take to craft a wind turbine? If I remember right, it's like wires and something. Wires and steel, maybe? Welding torch and steel sheets. Okay, welding torch, steel sheets. And cable coil. And... there we go. And then what? Anything else? I think it's like screwdriver. Screwdriver and nothing, if I remember right. Look at that. Big spinners. Big spinner spinning. Okay, so that's a little bit of additional power. That runs down here. We can run that into... I'm gonna remove this. Yeah. That goes into our main power line through the transformer. Transformer go. Oh, and we actually want to run it in like right here. Okay. No problem. So we'll do this. We'll turn it on. We will click repeatedly. Maximize the power here. So this will do 50 kilowatts. That's going to be half a line worth of pressure or power. And we'll never pass that point. So we should never blow out the line unless we're getting a pretty absurd amount of power through our solar panels. I think we need like 100 solar panels, more than 100 solar panels before this is going to be a problem. Alright, this go up. Good. Okay, so now we've got in. This should go to the main power line, and we want to be careful where we put it. We want to attach it at the beginning so that it will prioritize going through this transformer instead of going straight to the batteries, since the batteries will add inefficiency. So we just move it along, connect it to the same point that we have the solar panel coming out. It's right here. Okay. Now that should be working, right? You gonna turn on? I see no power coming through. Oh, you're not plugged in? Well, I guess that makes sense. Where did I even... What are you plugged into? Nothing. Okay. I'm pretty okay with that. So this goes here. I'm gonna make it go up a little. Let's just keep it out of the way of the line that we have running to the batteries. Alright, that plugs in. This turns on. So now we've got a little bit of battery power, or a little bit of power from the windmills. Let's see if we can add a couple of windmills here. Get a little more power income. Oh shit, ads. I'm sorry. Ads are the worst. How many is this? 3? More steel. I'm gonna take this one, and then we'll move. Alright, what are we looking for? Welding torch. Steel sheets. Cables. Clippers. Screwdriver. Okay. I'm gonna paint him too. Let's do something a little less loud. Okay. Got a couple more to add, but we need some more of the foundations. We can get those in a moment. How about that power? Power's still pretty gross. We can give that time and see what happens. We gotta see it run through the day and night cycle a couple times, and we should add more power. We want a few more windmills. A few more windmills, maybe even a few more solar panels. Maybe even do a line that's at a different orientation. If we had an orientation that was going this way, then that would catch a lot more sun. Alright, and this guy's totally out of power already. Damn. What to do? I wonder if we can afford to do frames. I think there's a good chance it's going to run out of power while it's crafting. But if we could even get a few of these, then we can put down more wind power. You should poop. Give me whatever you got. 2 more wind turbines is good. 4 more wind turbines is good. Alright. Weld those. Ooh, look at that. It's a gift. It's a gift from the universe. It knows that I'm super thirsty for power right now. Thank you, universe. I'm super thirsty for power right now. Alright, we need more steel sheets. Can't plug those in yet. Do some wires. Nice. Okay, those are plugged in. It's, need to be finished, crafted. And that should be generating power. Oh yeah, look at that. That's crazy. That is wildly fast. I'm gonna turn on the pollution system too. We've got excess power. Alright, we need sheets. We're out of sheets. Make a bunch of those. We need wires, correct? Yep, we're out of cables. Give me some cables. Okay. You're gonna want more copper. That's gonna make like 100 cables. That'll help. Got a couple of steel frames. Alright. What else? Oh, we already have sheets. These should be in our storage. Alright, how are you doing? You still running? I think that green light means that the... Oh, no. That should be green. It's not. Good. That means that we are hitting maximum pressure, which means we can check and see. First off, how's the power? Totally full. Great. So we can check and see, are you breaking things? Or did you manage to totally fill up that first chamber and then shut off? We don't know. It's still running. Still running. Do I hear any... I don't hear any noises. I don't see any broken pipes. That's good. So far so good, I think. And the storm is fairly chilly. It's like 270 degrees out. This is about as good as it's gonna get. This is a good time to hang out outside. Alright, let's see. Do you work? Are you gonna break? No breaking. I'm gonna turn this off. Turn this on. Nah, let's turn that off. Just thinking if that's off, which it's on right now, unfortunately. I just want to see what's going on with the consoles. If there's any sort of leak between the rooms, we should see the pressure and temperature changing. So like one of the pipes burst. I think we might be okay here. Seeing some pretty big jumps in pressure. I wonder what that's about. It's like jumping from 5.1 to 4.8, 4.6. I wonder if being underwater, under liquid, messes with the pressure of the air. We might need a sensor for the liquid level, and then another sensor up higher for the gas pressure. Otherwise it might not be exhausting the pressure correctly. Let's see if we can like reach through the wall and see what's your pressure. Oh, you say world. I don't think this is working. I was hoping we could just like peek through the wall, but I don't think so. Still just getting the pressure of the outside. It's not going through. We can peek at devices through the wall and like look at what's going on in pipes and stuff. But we can't peek at the air in the room. I play other games. I love engineering games. Alright, this is huge jumps. It's jumping by like a full megapascal. I feel like the air sensor is not quite right here. I think we might need to add one extra sensor for a little bit higher for determining the air pressure, something above the liquid level. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's see what happens when this room is full. Those are huge jumps. If we don't get an accurate reading here, we're not going to be pumping air out at the correct rate or at the correct pressure. So maybe one more sensor is necessary. How is my liquid tank? Are you getting filled with anything? Ooh. This guy is filled with a lot of liquid. Uh-oh. This seems sketchy. Our buffer is like 50% full of liquid. It's pumping a lot of liquid into here, which is why that room is taking longer to reach the correct pressure as well. We'll see. Might be fine. Might be not fine. That feels sketchy. We'll see. I wonder how full that thing's gonna get. Goodbye, Storm. Thank you for the break. On the one hand, I'm not a huge fan of those incorrect readings.
Waste tank caution.
On the other hand, if they're just for like a tick, and during that tick the fan just shuts off, that might be a very small amount of inefficiency, which is not really important. So at least it shouldn't break things. Alright, where were we? Do a little crafting. Not a ton of time here before our suit is going to be full. Do a little bit. Do that, do that, do that, do that. Run away. Alright, dude's desperate for shower time. Let's give him some shower time. We poop. We take off the suit. We put stuff away. We turn on the air conditioner, eat and drink. How's this room looking? This room is now down to 30% carbon dioxide, 50% oxygen. So oxygen's building up in a good way, and carbon dioxide is draining in a bad way. If we run out of carbon dioxide, our plants turn off, and our air turns off, and we are on a timer for running out of air and dying. We do have a little bit of oxygen ore that we can use to just dump in this room. And once the cooling is working, if the cooling is working, then we can start cooling off that carbon dioxide and maintain a pressure. We can maintain like 5% carbon dioxide in this atmosphere. The eventual atmospherics is we'll have logic to, like I said, maintain 5%. So we have a little carbon dioxide in the plants, we're always happy. And then once we pass a certain pressure point, we will just turn on a vent to reduce the pressure. Maybe we'll hold it like 70 kilopascals, so actually pretty much exactly where we're at. Once we get a little bit beyond that, we'll just filter out some oxygen. So that will passively start collecting oxygen. We can start collecting that into storage tanks. It'll already be the perfect temperature. And then we can also, if the storage tanks get full, we can vent it into space, and it'll make a cool flamethrower effect. That's fun too. But that'll automate the rooms so that the plants are always happy and always running, but we never build up too much pressure. And on top of that, we'll just have a supply of oxygen, which is nice to have. So this is working okay so far. Things look good. Dealing with shower time, chilling in the corner. Do a little dance. This water is getting really hot too. We should swap out the water in our air conditioner if we can't get the pollutant cooling system working soon enough. Alright, just chilling and waiting for the debuffs to go. Also bringing that temperature down, 22°C. It's warm, and our air conditioner is not very effective with hot water in it. No more debuffs. Swap out the air, turn off the air conditioner, pump out the air into our breathy room. Grab some cables. Can you give me big cable too? We're out of big cable. Copper, gold. No more copper. There's some gold for you. Alright, now I can go finish the last 4 turbines. They gotta be painted to match. Alright, so at the very least, during storms, these are going to generate a huge amount, but this should give more power in general. And hopefully we'll get a little bit of power in the night, which would be very nice to have. Instead of running purely on battery power, we could get a little power. So there we go. Hopefully that resolves the power problem. At the very least, it is better. Now what's going on over here? How we doing? We're still filling. I don't like that jump to 4. I'm tempted to go in there soon and get that fixed. So we could have like water sensor and then gas sensor up higher. Do you need sensors for that? Is that just like all going into this pollution tank? This guy's just collecting liquid forever. I feel like this is just gonna burst. It's just filling this thing. It's already at like 80% capacity. That's not great. Well, shit, we'll see. Something, something, science. Science is filled with explosions. That's how you know you're doing it right. Okay, we need a copper. I can go do that now. That's the thing to do. I like your beautiful dancing frog, thank you. Frogs are my second favorite people. Only second to cats. Alright, give me some copper. And I will save game before something catastrophic happens. Give me some copper. I think we ate all the silicon. So that might be worth grabbing as well. Grab a little silicon. Maybe a little gold even. I think I saw some gold. I think we got some gold. That is silver. Don't need silver. I think I do want to add that air sensor. That should be pretty quick and easy to do. And not, it won't waste much time. Now that we have those little airlocks to go in there, we will expel a 1x1 of gas, which is not amazing, but also not a terrible amount of lost time. And the sooner the better. I'll grab some gold. This dude's a piano wizard. This is some good piano work. Well done, piano person. Alright. That's pretty good. Could fill up that last bit of silicon, maybe. Okay. Now, where do I live? Oh, that was hard. That was tough to find. That's good to see. So power's holding much better in the night, even with very minimal wind. And running this guy. How's this guy doing? Have you filled yet? Have you turned it off yet? Still going. Still filling. Damn, it really wants to blow that thing up. This thing's gonna explode and just put liquid everywhere. That's what's happening next. Unless it does not. Right. Let's cook Jesse. Copper. Copper goes straight through. Oops. Copper go here. You can start crafting. Good, good. Alright, now it's too cold. So instead of dropping ore, it's just holding it. Let's get rid of the cold air. Add some hot air. Should immediately heat up and drop that copper. There we go. That goes through. Copper's done. We get some silicon. Seems good. Call that good. Alright, now I wanted to do a gas sensor. Let's go hang out in this room for just a moment to get rid of the debuffs. Actually, just real quick. This guy uses a lot of energy, so we don't want to use this unless we're actually using this. Let's finish cooking this real quick, and then we can turn it all off. Alright, silicon is melted, but it's not hot enough to craft. We exhaust the cold gas. Add some hot gas. Reaches target temperature. Poops the silicon. Break it into chunks. Okay, turned off. Save some power. Alright, where were we? I was gonna change our logic for our chamber. Let's see. So we've got our... Oops, this is wrong. Let's load our pollution chamber. You looking right? Everything good here? Yes. Okay, so, instead of just having gas sensor and last gas sensor, this gas sensor is getting muddled by the liquid. So it's not getting correct readings on the gas in the room. So we're going to have a liquid gas sensor, which is kind of gross name. But that's what it is. And then we're going to add one more. We could do it at the very end so that we don't have to reprogram anything. We will have the D gas sensor, which is like the room gas sensor. You might even want to label it room gas sensor. That's going to be D4. Okay, and then our pressure is no longer going to be the D gas sensor pressure. It's going to be the D room gas sensor pressure. Our liquid sensor here is no longer going to be D gas sensor, it's going to be D liquid gas sensor. Okay, so now we're just breaking that up into two gas sensors on a different device, slightly different labels, and we don't even need to touch any of the rest of the code. This should give a correct reading of the pressure. This should give a correct reading of the liquid. And then we're good to go. So I will save this, overwrite, confirm, easy programming. And then we're going to need to break into those rooms and add a sensor for every room. That'll only take a moment. What else to do while we're here? Eat some cake. Drink some water. Good enough.
Oxygen low.
Alright, sensors. Need like 5 sensors. Make a bunch of sensors. That's gonna be 20 sensors. 20 sensors is too many sensors. You can go put them on a shelf. That's not a problem. Do we have any extras here? Nope. Doesn't look like it. All good. Oh, computer. We'll save that. We could use that someday. What do you got for me? Is that 5? That's 3. Give me 5. 4. 5. And then I'll let it run. We'll just run it out of materials and make like 10 extra. That's okay. 5. Good. 5, yeah. Is the big AC working? We're getting closer. I'm trying some fixes. I got real close, but one pipe was bursting. So I'm trying to fix that now. Alright, I don't hear any noises. That's not filling. How is our pressure here? Have you started to get too full? Oh, fuck. That's getting really full. Ooh. I feel like this guy's gonna burst. I guess we'll see. Okay. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna break in. We're gonna add the logic for the 2 sensors. Alright, you get shut. Save. You get opened. Bully. Wait for this room to pressurize, then we fall. Okay. Let's see. So our sensor is going to go right here. The liquid should never get that high. We will plug you in to a wire. We will label you room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. You get labeled liquid gas sensor. Okay. Alright, that's done. We go to space. Alright, that's 1 down. Couple to go. You get closed. Save. You get opened. Bully. You fall after pressurization. Good. Any damage to these pipes or anything yet? No? You guys look good? I'm gonna shut that one off for now. Alright, and then we need to do the exact same thing. It looks like we've already got the line or the power ready to go. You just put it right there. Give it a label. You are room gas sensor. You are liquid gas sensor. Okay. Shut door. Door. Go to space. We should be able to do the last 3 without needing to do anything funky. Just open them straight up. They are equalized with the environment, more or less. Okay. Yeah, sensor go here. Are you guys good? Yeah. Just do right there. That'll work. Label it. Room gas sensor. Copy that. You are liquid gas sensor. Okay. Did I get this room yet? No. Okay, this one's ready to plug in. You are room. I've got that copied. Room gas sensor. You are liquid. Okay. And last one. Goes there. It is not plugged in. You are room gas sensor. You are liquid gas sensor. You get power. Go here. Straight. Perfect. Okay. And finally, close these dudes. Okay. Put stuff away. And then we need to program. I'm gonna save. Feel like something's gonna go funky. You go here, export, you go here, you go here, export, you go here. Add that new code to all of our various chips. Alright, now you should all break when we turn you on. You're gonna need to be reprogrammed very slightly. So turn that on. Oops, turn that on, see it break, turn that off. And what is it? This one is the room gas sensor. Is this still good? Liquid gas sensor, liquid gas sensor. So all we need to do is add the room gas sensor to that fourth input for all of these. Room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. Okay. Save in case, run this, see if our code breaks or if it runs correctly. It looks like it's running. So we lost a small amount of pressure. We can see the liquid's gone lower. But let's see, we should see no fluctuations here now, except this is still plugged in to the wrong sensor now. So this is no longer going to be the temperature of the liquid gas sensor. It's going to be the room gas sensor. You are room gas sensor. Okay, so now this should stop fluctuating, in theory. And then all of these need to be reprogrammed as well. You are room gas sensor, not liquid, room gas sensor. Good. You are not liquid, room gas sensor. Did I get that right? Yes. Okay, turn this one off. Room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. Off. Room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. Not last gas sensor. Wonder what happens if you do two of those at once. Might need to double check that we've unselected things. You'd think it would only be able to do one. Off. Alright, how we doing? Is your pressure being funny? No more drops down to 4 point whatever, 4.2. It's still going down a little, but it's not dropping a full megapascal anymore. So maybe that was completely unnecessary. If we still see things acting funny. Let me double check this too. Are you plugged in correctly? You have two devices. It should be only room, not liquid. I wonder why you can't select liquid. That seems odd. Mystery. Okay, but all good. Hopefully we're good here. We'll see. Any explosions? How are you doing? You are very close to capacity. 56 out of 60. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Don't you dare explode. If you explode, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna make all sorts of sad noises. Bunch of sad human sounds. Hello. Oh, you got ads. I'm sorry you got ads. I keep failing to run ads or warn you that there's ads and then you get ads. $20, 57 out of 60. I feel like this thing's just gonna blow. Damn. We're getting close. I have built this exact device before and seen it work for a long time. I keep saying this because it's true. We'll get there eventually. I just can't remember how I did it. It was something very close to this. We're very close. But it's super temperamental. It gets angry at high pressures. How we doing? You still full of liquid? No, you're empty on liquid. Are you running correctly? On. Are we just like not getting cold enough at night? Should turn on now. There it is when we're below 130. Okay. So you're generating liquid now. And that liquid is just getting slurped immediately into our tank. It's just like the initial fill-up period. Takes a while. We're just looking to see, I want to see this guy turn off without anything bursting. That's all we're looking for. And then we have way more than enough liquid to like turn on the other chambers. And they should fill much faster because we don't need to fill this buffer all the way. It's doing that the first time to push the limits and to check, do things explode. I wonder, we may even want to add, so if this does explode, we could plug it in and then we could add logic to say if the buffer is more than like 50% full, stop bringing in liquid. We don't need liquid. We have way more than enough. We're about to blow this thing open. I'm going to save just right now just in case that's exactly what happens. But look, it's at 5740 out of 6,000. We've only got like 200 liters left before that thing's done. And we don't need that much liquid. So at the very least, if we, I'm 100% sure, if we add that logic, that we will have more than enough liquid in this reservoir to start pumping the next one, right? Because we've got water in this tank. So we're good to go then, and then we could shut the drain off. I'm tempted to add that now just as like a safety mechanism. We could only fill up the buffer a little ways. But we're seeing even when the buffer is like super full, we're not seeing any pipes cracking or any issues. So I can be confident that with a little bit of extra programming logic, this thing's not going to explode. We could turn this off right now and nothing's going to burst. At least for as far as the liquid goes. But I do want to see, can we just like fill it up? Can I just run this thing? Or do I have to add a little bit more programming? One more line of logic is not so bad. We extend the power up like a couple blocks to plug in right there or right there. We add one more device. We've got one device left for our liquid tank. And then we just check the volume on that and make sure we're not overfilling our liquid tank. That seems good to me. I like that idea. But I want to see. Is this going to burst? What's going to happen? Just for science. I want to see you explode. Let's see what happens when you're totally fucking full. Let's find out. It's gonna be fun. Explosions are fun. Maybe it's gonna explode and shoot us off into space again. That actually seems like a much better metric than like trying to read the liquid value here. Just read if you got enough liquid in there. That's what should be triggering the draw. I like that a lot more than the temperamental reading of like, is this liquid at the specific height it's supposed to be? I'm convincing myself with words here. I think I want to do that. That's tempting. That's like 2 lines of code. Maybe we swap out this first input, the liquid gas sensor gets swapped out for just the liquid tank. That's a much better metric of how much liquid we have in here. Is this liquid tank filled? Or like, does it have anything in it? No? Well then, pump some liquid in. Is it like half full? Oh, look at that. Oh, you see? That's what we're looking for. We want to see this thing turn off. I want to see it stay off. I want to see it stay off. And I want to see no pipes burst, is the dream. Maybe we need no changes. No changes is less work than more changes. Alright, well, last time we were at this point, we were hearing creaking and cracking and breaking. Let's check on you. How are you doing? You are at 6,000 out of 6,000, so you are totally full. When this is totally full, this shuts off with no damage. Good, okay, so I'm not going to do anything. I think we're good. I think this is working. I think we need to run it for a while and see that that's the case. But I think we're good here. Cool. Alright, so now I'm going to turn you on. That should start pumping. This one can turn on as well as we're draining into here. Okay, and then this is all the exact same programming logic with the exact same setup. So I'm going to turn all of our coolers on. And we might have reached the point where this is actually working. We need to see it fill all the chambers, make it all the way to the end, and then I think we're okay. Nice. Easy. It only took 3 days, probably 20 hours. That's not even like a work week. That's a work week if you're being super, super lazy with it. Wow. Where's my paycheck? Who owes me money? Someone owes me money. Where's the sun? The sun owes me money.
Waste tank caution.
Cool. We might be good. We might be good, and if we're not good, I'm going to tweak the logic to use the tanks as our metric for whether or not we should be adding liquid. And then I will be relatively confident that we're good. The only other thing we need to see is we need to see the... I want to see the vents turn on and start moving the hot gas from one chamber to the next, to the next, to the next, without bursting any pipes or without over-pressurizing any of the chambers and causing walls to burst out. So we've got like one half of the system of the liquid pumping right seems to be working correctly. Now we need to be 100% sure that the other half of the gas pumping left is not causing any troubles. So we need to let it get up to pressure, and then we'll see where we're at. Seems good. Meanwhile, our coolant is at 456 degrees Celsius. That's a little bit spicy. Alright, I think we might have done it. That might be it. Look at that big liquid cooling thing. Wow. Very cool. Very excessive. Very prone to failure. But I think we got it working just right, unless we didn't. I think I've said a couple times, but it's worth reiterating. All of this can be done using the evaporation chamber item and the condensation chamber item. You can do the exact same thing of having evaporation chambers. Instead of having a literal evaporation chamber, you can use the item, which is like a mini... It's like this whole room slurped into a single item. And you just set the pressure, what target pressure it's looking for. And it'll put off the extra gas. And you can do the same thing of just having like 5 evaporation chambers. And then on the left side, you do a condensation chamber for the exhaust gas and squirt that away. That could be functionally equivalent. However, this is just like a better visual. It's a better, if you really see it all in action. It's fun. It's fun watching all the evaporation and condensation effects and see the big pool of liquids. And it's just a little more intuitive to understand. It's kind of a mystery what's happening with those items the first couple times you're playing with them. Seeing it actually happen in a room, I think, is a little nicer. So I wanted to do it that way. Cool, that's nice. Okay. Well then, that's big progress. We need to see that run for a bit. It's going to fill up each of these chambers. And once it reaches the final chamber, like I was saying, the pressure is going to drop each time. This goes up to 5.8 megapascals. This one goes to 5. This one goes to 4, 3, 2. And so we should see the temp drop from like 130, from real hot over here, maybe to like 150. It's going to go all the way down to like negative 80 by the end. And then that will be locked into our coolant, which will be locked at negative 80. We can dump heat into the coolant, and then it will exchange with the final room and delete that heat for us, get rid of it, pass it on to the outside through evaporation and condensation. Seems good. All right. I need to handle suit things. How's my power too now that we have everything running? Still totally full. Good. So the little bit of solar, or the little bit of windmills, looks like they're enough to get us through the night and through the wintry season, when we're getting a lot less solar power, and it's in a perfect line so that our solar panels are almost entirely in the shadows. That's all good to see. This is progress. Okay, I'm feeling much better about that, and I like that I have another solution in my pocket here. If this still isn't working right, I think we can do a small adjustment, and I'll be relatively confident at that point that things are working well. So what next? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? I want to expand my breathy space. I want to have a very slightly larger room where we can take off our suit. I just want to expand this way, just like 2 blocks, which will give us some room to add like a fridge, that sort of thing. We also need to set up cooling for this room. We can use that coolant line to cool off this room. So what we'll do is we'll just have, we'll take that insulated pipe, we'll run it into this room more or less, and then we'll put a digital valve at the end of the insulated pipe. On the other side, we'll have a normal pipe with radiators, and then we can just toggle that valve on and off. When we open the valve, we'll have extremely cold liquid go into the pipes with radiators. That'll cool off the room, and then the valve will close when we reach the right temperature. And the little bit of coolant that we have in the radiator spot will sync with the room. It'll just hang out at like 20 C. And then that's it, basically. Yeah, we'll just be able to toggle that for a little. It'll do it like for like a tick or two every once in a while when we get too much heat. And that'll automate air conditioning so that this room is always at the perfect temperature. And along with that, we could start adding huge amounts of grow lights and heat sources. And as long as our coolant line is able to take that heat, then we're going to be good. And the amount of cooling that we're doing over here is pretty absurd. We're going to be able to, just this one device, it's literally, at this point, it's, well, if it works, at this point, it's just whatever you need to cool ever, to whatever temperature, you just plug it in to this main line and use one of those valves to toggle whether or not you want to apply cooling. We'll use that to cool off carbon dioxide, we'll use that to cool off volatiles, we'll use that to cool off water. Everything will be cooled off using just this evaporation chamber technique. And we'll be in a much better spot for entering late game or even like mid game. We're still not at all sustainable. So soon we'll be able to start like growing our own food and mass producing oxygen. That seems good. Alright, so I'm going to poop the hot air into space. We are going to do suit things, eat and drink and all that jazz. And I wanted to expand this room a little. Let's expand this room. Let's get some refrigerators in here. Let's get some just straight up storage so that we don't have loose stuff blowing around everywhere. And once that's done, we can turn this into an airlock that's automated, so I stop clicking buttons manually. We just run through whenever we need to. If we set that up right now, then it's going to be blasting stuff out the door all the time, I think. So I've been hesitant to do that and waiting. That seems good to do. I sit in the corner. I run ads. I use bathroom. Back in 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Cat needed second dinner. I need food too. Throw some in the microwave. How are you doing? 17C. Turn off the AC. Eat and drink. Alright, so I wanted to expand this room. End of sentence. Let's do it.
Oxygen low.
Alright, so that's pretty easy. We need to delete this block, which means it needs to have walls and a floor. We are already chilling in a vacuum. We can just slap some walls here. Let's do some windows so that we get some visibility into our main crafting area. There we go. We can do that, do that. Okay, we're also going to need a wall here for our airlock. These take plastic and glass. Wrong glass. This glass. Plastic, glass. Plastic, 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 glass, glass, glass. Okay. This is nearly ready. I need to make sure that we have walls above and below this thing. A floor and a ceiling. We've already painted it pink to make it easy to see which walls we need to complete. This one's a different pink. And I can't see what's going on down here, so let's go ahead and drill. I feel like there's a hole. There is a hole. Look at that. That's what I was thinking. That goes there. You go here, you go here. Just take sheets and a welder. Okay, that one's done. Good. Power's still good. That's great to see. I'm surprised these are doing so well. They're like barely moving. But they're totally filling the gap and keeping this running full steam. Love it. Okay. And then the only thing else we need here is a ceiling. And this one needs to be... we don't want to do a window here. If we do a window, it's going to mess with the lighting on our plants. So it needs to be a normal wall. Takes a little bit of plastic. Okay. Alright. We save, just in case something goes wrong. Then we can pull this one apart. Let's see. Does that work? Looks good. Okay. And now we have more room here. Alright, this goes here. Put this away. This goes here. We use the drill to grab the iron frame. We'll never use iron frames again, so shoot that out the wall. Use steel frames because they're cheaper. Can delete this wall as well. Regain a little space. Alright, we now have more room here to do things and stuff. We've also got just having more room means that the airlock is gonna like blow wind less or affect the pressure in this room less. If you start off with like a 2x1, then when the airlock is open, it's a 3x1. So when we started, it was a 3x1 when we're in the room, and then when we like close the room and pump the air back into here, it would become a 2x1, and the pressure would go way up. So there'll be less of a pressure differential. There'll also be less wind blowing because of that, I believe. Pull this apart. And our pressure in here is pretty low right now. We're down to, what, 31 kilopascals? That's not great. The plants are not liking that. So I'm going to add a little bit more, which we can do pretty easily. All we got to do is dump some of the... we have like oxalate gas, or oxalate. I forget what it's called. I keep thinking oxalate is oxygen not included. This guy. We got some this guy ready to go. Show me this guy. It's a lot of food. It's good to see that much food. This guy. I'm going to save just in case. Grab this, throw it in the inventory. Walk into our airlock. Throw this guy out. He immediately starts melting, and this just releases cold oxygen and a little bit of nitrogen, which is a good inert gas to help prevent explosions, so not bad to add that. Okay, good, and the pressure's way up now, up to 60 kilopascals. I think the plants want at least 50, so it's good to see that go up. Alright, now we have more room. There's room for activities. We put a fridge in here. We can maybe move the air conditioning into here. I think I want to do... Let's do a fridge. Let's do some storage. And then I want to set this guy up to be a proper airlock. That's quick and easy. I would also like to pull these out of the room. I want to get rid of these guys. Last time I tried to get rid of this guy, it caused all sorts of trouble. I'm going to try it again. We're going to save. I'm not sure if I can pull this off. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on, do you fit? Oh! You see? We got him! We fucking got him, boys. Let's get rid of this big rectangle. This air conditioner sucks. This air conditioner is fantastic. This air conditioner is the only reason we've been alive for the entirety of the game. But, we can now upgrade to something better. So let's do that. I save. Nice. Okay, and we are never, ever going to use an air conditioner again like this. This is a big downgrade. So I am going to probably just throw you into space. We could keep it in the corner as a relic of the hard times that we've gone through. We can remember our struggle. Or we can just shoot it into space. I'm going to shoot it into space. Fuck that. Let's go to space. Space time. Come. Oh, that makes me sad. Alright, I'm going to keep it. We're keeping it only because I can't handle getting it out the door, apparently. What's going on over here? How we doing? How are pressures and stuff? Is anything exploding? I see no explodey pipes. I hear no angry creaking. The only creaking's coming from over here, which is expected. Right? Yeah? Okay. How are our pressures? It's still jumping a little sometimes, so it must have something to do with condensation. I don't know if we needed that second room sensor. But it doesn't hurt, other than that it is convoluted, added complexity for no value. Which is definitely something you want to look out for. Not do that in programming. Alright, what else we got? These guys are running, this guy's running, this guy's running. This one is up to pressure and filling. This guy's even starting to run. This one's getting pressurized a little bit. Okay. So we're seeing it moved chamber to chamber to chamber. No explosions yet. It's going to take a while for these to fill in and reach their target pressure. But we can already see the temperatures going down just a little as they're starting to get going. And then once it reaches that last room, it should be pretty cold. But yeah, these things need to fill first, and then we will be in a good spot, I think. Okay. And this is going to take a while, especially because each of these is 6,000. These things are filling to full. So each of these rooms is, or it's going to take a while to fill all of these guys. That being said, I think that they will start moving from room to room to room before these are full. Like if we take a look at the second one, this has got 0 liters in it. It's just immediately moving into the next room. So that's going to move as fast as possible. And then once it reaches the end, they'll all kind of backfill. We've already seen at max pressure, that nothing explodes. So this one's already full, that's passing along, and then all these 4 will fill with time. And then that one will fill us back up. And then the only movement will be to counter whatever heat we put into the system. Nice, we're doing it. Progress. I'm gonna celebrate with Mountain Dew like a true gamer. Mmm. Oh, it tastes like dying earlier. Every time, but it's so good. Alright. What? Next. Airlock. Yeah. You go there. Into the corner. Into the corner of shame. So for an airlock, we need a housing. We need better vents. That's pretty much it. Do we have a housing? We do not. Give me a housing. Alright, that is plenty of sensors. Put some sensors there. Give me a housing. Need copper. There's copper. I'm sure you can make a bunch of those and they will not go to waste. Looks like you got plenty of mats. So do the housing there. We're also going to have the big powered vents. Going to want 2 of those. Okay. What else? We need shelving and a fridge. Let's see. Let's get a shelf, which is called a locker, just to confuse you. Alright, you can make a few of those. Give me a fridge. Refridge. Frit? Cold. Food. Colder. No? The fuck is a fridge called? How's it not a fridge? Are you not a pipe thing? Maybe it's in the electric section. Or even the auto lathe. None of these are jumping out to me as fridge. Nope. Fridge? Nope. Fridge? There we go. Large fridge. Just gonna take more copper. Alright, give me a fridge. Nice, big fridge. Use that immediately for our cake. Alright. Where do you want to live, big fridge? Maybe like over here somewhere or something? Not liking that spot? Here's pretty okay. We can do a fridge here. Then we can do a table with a microwave. Okay. Food go here, fridge go on, fridge need power. There you go, you plugged in, doing the thing. These should decay slower now. Yep, time goes up. Good, that'll help keep those. I think you can use like frozen nitrogen to perfectly preserve stuff. Just adding a little bit of time's enough for us here. I think what, it went up to like 24 hours or something? 17 hours? I bet we can have no problems with that. Okay. Let's see. What next? Vents. We can do a big vent here, pumping that way. We can do another big vent here, pumping that way. Should be okay. We need to make room for that, so we're going to want to reroute the wires very slightly. Do we want to do that? I could do the big pump here, too. Let's do a big pump. Where to put you? So this one on the ceiling goes that way. We'll do another one going this way. Okay. make that work? I think that should work. All we need to do is add a passive vent right here. And then plug that in. Let's change the color of these back to default. Default orange. Okay. That goes like that. All right. You are... what do you need? A couple things. Okay, let's just pull this apart now, I think. I'm going to save just in case, but I think we're good to go. None of that. None of that. You guys can go too. That is the wrench. Grabs the pipe. That one stays. This one goes. Add it to storage. Okay, gonna need to reroute some wires. And it goes there. Can't reach those. Okay. So we'll do another one right here. Where'd I put it? There we go. Just like that. And then what do you need? Electric parts, right? With a welder or something? Screwdriver and pipe. Pipe. Screwdriver. Welding torch, plastic sheet. Welding torch. Plastic sheet. Okay. Direction is inward, inward. Now we need a housing and electricity. Okay. Electricity go up. Electricity go over. Good. And you need to get plugged in. We could do that from here. Okay. Now these guys are plugged in. Alright. We need the housing and we need everything totally plugged in here. We have power, but we don't have the automation wire. So automation wire go in. Okay. This needs to change too. This is where we have a pressure plate. Plate. Alright. Can I throw these through the wall? Yes. It's a little gross. We're just going to throw stuff through. Or actually, what am I saying? We can just do close this. Open this. Just move everything. Let's clear out stuff. Stuff could fall on the pressure plates and cause trouble. I can go that way. It's garbage. This is also not... That's not garbage. We want that one. That's our ticket home, isn't it? Do I even have the tracker on me? We do have a tracker. Okay, so that's a spare tracker. We don't need that. Okay. There's all that. That goes there. That gets turned on. Pumps as expected. Down to vacuum. Okay. Open that. All good, all good. Network analyzer. We actually do want to keep. So I'll throw, oops, I will throw you into space. I will throw you into space. We will keep the network analyzer. We will grab our trigger plate. Throw it down here. We need a, let's see, close this, open this. Need to delete some wires. Make some room for the housing IC. Okay. Housing, go here. Yes, I like that. Let's do it there. And then we can do a sensor. Gas sensor goes here. Alright, then we need to do some labels. This is interior door. This is interior vent. Is it like that? Exterior door. Exterior vent. Airlock. Gas. Sensor. Yep. I think that's basically it. This guy needs to be plugged in. Okay. Can I turn you on? Come on, button. You're killing me. Can I do this through glass? Really? That feels silly. Okay, well that's not a problem. Just do this real quick. Now we can click it. And it gets angry, as expected. Alright, so let's throw this down. We can just reuse the code that we have for our airlock. And that needs an IC chip. So we edit, we grab our airlock code, we overwrite. Then we say confirm. Let's check. Interior door, exterior door, no spaces. Okay. The same should be true for interior vent, exterior vent, right? Are those, all we need is the gas sensor and the pressure pad. Everything else is labeled explicitly. Yep. Cool. So export that. This guy's now programmed. That's gonna break immediately. Turn it off. Wire it up. This is our gas sensor, which is our vent. Or sorry, our what do you call it? Show me. Show me the gas sensor. Did I not plug it in? I didn't plug it in. That's fantastic. Game is hard. There's lots of buttons. There we go. Now it's plugged in. Let's try that again. Airlock gas sensor. You good? Airlock gas sensor? Airlock gas sensor. Pressure pad is the pressure pad. Trigger plate small. Okay. Now that guy's working. Put this here. Do that there. Can save real quick and give it a test. Fucking perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Nothing. Let's try that again. Turn it on. Save. Okay, nice. Okay. Is that done? Easy as. Put some stuff away. Does it work? Let's try. Wow. Wow. Upgrades. Cool, dude. Okay, so now moving back and forward between or through any of our airlocks. All of our airlocks are now totally automated and idiot-proof, where you can't even touch the doors. The doors and the vents are locked. You couldn't turn them on if you wanted to. And they will do what they're supposed to do without ever leaking any of the wrong air anywhere. Oh, Mountain Dew's good. Okay. What else do we want to do? Made shelving. Forgot about that. Let's put a little shelving in here. Maybe get this thing ready to cook some potatoes. I want to put my food. Got a little bit of spare water at the bottom. Put our collection of food in here. Now we can kind of visualize it more easily, and it won't go blowing away. We can get an idea of where we are on all resources. Okay. Throw a couple seeds out there. Nice. Looking better. I want to reroute this water immediately. This is gross. This is in the way. Okay. Oh, I forgot to drink. I think we can get rid of this too. I like that idea. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna... Oh, you're totally out of batteries? Nice. Whoops. Turn that off. Swap it out. Okay, we're gonna reverse it and save just in case, but we're gonna empty it and just add some pressure in here. This is dumping mostly carbon dioxide. So we're gonna take our entire supply of carbon dioxide that we've saved up until this point in time. We're gonna dump it into the atmosphere, and it's gonna give our plants something to breathe and also just not waste the colder carbon dioxide, which right now is a somewhat limited resource. We've got if the air conditioning's working, then we can have a supply of carbon dioxide that's much better soon. But for now, let's do this, and then we can flip it to pull stuff in, so that, because a lot of the gas in here is volatile and pollution, so we'll scrub that out until the room is empty on both of those. Shouldn't take long. And then let's pull the scrubber out of here as well. Let's just try and make some room. Nice, okay. Good, turn that off. Save in case something goes funny. Here's the tricky bit. Can I get it through the door? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god. Oh, look at me go! We can even run it in here. There's a little teeny bit of pollution in here. Not anymore. Yes, still. You can see it going down. Okay. Cool. Very nice. Alright, and I'm gonna see if... Can I throw you away? I want to throw you away. Let's try and get this guy out the door again. Step in the corner to not hit the pad. Turn. Oh, yes! Oh, yeah! Alright, you got any last words, Mr. Air Conditioner? Mr. Air Conditioner, you did such a good job of keeping us cold and alive. As a reward, I'm gonna dump you into the pit of lava. In an ironic twist, Our cooling system's gonna go cool off the pit of lava. I wish you luck. I believe in you. I've seen you do good work before. You can do this. You can do it. Look how confident I sound. You can cool the lava. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. You go in the lava, you're gonna get this all cooled off, and then we can go harvest it someday, alright? Good luck. Good luck, guy. I believe in you. You're fucking fine. You can do it. I don't think he can do it. Don't tell him, though. Alright, how we doing? Got some upgrades. Made some room. Like, literally made room. More room physically. And also getting rid of those big squares. It's pretty nice. How's our cooling going? Have you broken yet? I hear creaking. It's still over here, I'm pretty sure. Is that up here? Trying to follow my ears. We'll see. Worst case, if this breaks, then we fix it and plug it into there. But it looks like no breaking yet, no problems. We still haven't hit the target pressures where we expect to see any of the fans turn on. That's one thing we need to see. But first chamber's full, second chamber is pretty full, third chamber is going and also pretty full. And this one actually, we can see the fans turning on now, right? There we go. This one's holding to 4. So as the pressure is getting too high, once we pass 4, then we see that guy turning on and moving that hotter gas out. Goes this way, fills this chamber. And then once this guy is too full at 5, it goes out. Once this guy's too full at 5.8, it goes out. So we're seeing a little bit of the right to left in addition to the left to right. Seems good. This chamber has not turned on yet. But why though? Are you all wired up? Liquid gas sensor, last gas sensor, pipe analyzer, target pressure, room gas sensor, all looks good. Do we have water in the pipes? The liquid is not available, so there's no liquid in here yet. That one's got liquid. It's got a lot of liquid. This one's got no liquid. And that's going to be the one that moves into this room. So I think we can see the liquid here. Yeah, but it's not high enough yet to turn on the next vent. But it's moving. It's moving, and yeah, so it's hitting the target pressure is what's going on. So it's moving the liquid into here. The liquid is evaporating and cooling off, and then it's pumping that gas out. Since the pressure is being kept low, it's not filling very fast. It's got to hold that target temperature. This is working as expected. It's just going to take a little while to fill up a bit more, basically. Seems good. So far, so good. We just need to see it make all the way to the right. And we can get some cooling on our coolant, which is still extremely very hot. This is all the nitrogen that came out of the furnace. So it is warm. Good. Seems like it's working fine. Alright, what now? I was thinking air conditioning. Start working on the air conditioning. That's a pretty easy thing to do. We're going to need a bunch of insulated pipes. We have 77. That actually might not be enough. Let's craft more. Craft a bunch of insulated pipes. Keep that going. Wrong material. Keep that going. Wrong material. Keep that going. There we go. Just gotta say it slower. With emphasis. You can get turned off. You're good. You scrubbed this place to vacuum by now, I'm sure. Give you a new battery as a reward for your hard work. Swap this one out for no reason because we can. Now it's blue. Alright, and then what do we need for air conditioning? We're going to need an IC chip. We're going to need to program, but that's going to be a super simple program. And then we are going to need some radiators. We've got 3 here. Do I have some to spare? If I remember right, I made a ton of them once upon a time. Not seeing any radiators. We'll need to make a few radiators. That's okay. We're going to need a digital valve, which we do not have a digital valve. Okay. So let's start with the insulated pipe. Insulated pipe needs to run all the way to wherever we want to do the cooling. We can do that up here if we want. Could like have cooling just right along this roof, perhaps. Or we could do it right in here. It's probably a good spot for it. I think I'm gonna do it here. Okay. So we'll do that. This is where our cooling comes in. And then we will have the valve here. And then we'll have pipes with radiators on the ceiling. You need to be blue. Okay, can we see the pipe? Where'd that pipe? Should be like right here. That's fairly obnoxious. That's okay. I think we can turn it up like this, and then we can do the wrench so that actually works. Whoops. You go here. Nope, you go here. You go here. What was I doing? There it is. Okay. Alright, so this is just going to be our liquid nitrogen. Gotta run it a little ways. Let's do the long one. Come on now. Please? What if I say please?
Jetpack critical.
What if I say please, motherfucker? Jetpack died. Alright, I give up on that. That's too much work. That smaller one. Smaller one work easier? No? This feature's almost good. I would love a zoop. Give me a zoop dice, please. Let me zoop that pipe. Zoop! Just clickety click. Be done with it, you know? Big zoop energy. It's a great feature in other games. Zoop is a solid mechanic. Just the ability to like drag poles along a line. Okay, grab a few more of those pipes. Jetpack is dead. Easy fix. I don't think I'm ever going to need flares. Let's throw some flares. I think you're supposed to use these for heating up the furnace in the early game. Like you can throw these in a furnace and then make steel out of it. Or maybe very early game if you're just like struggling to see in the night before you have decent lighting systems. Alright, that's great. I'm just gonna throw them away. Goodbye. Alright, I gotta run ads. Sorry, ads are coming. I'm just gonna run this pipe from there to there. God, it's so temperamental. Come on. Looks good. Oh, is it even cooling? Is that temp going down? I think that might just be from decreasing the pressure. Yeah, we're not seeing any pass through into the fourth chamber yet. Where are we? Where are we? Why are you guys jumping? Fun. Alright, digital valve. Needs a little bit of steel. Are we out of steel? Oh my god, we used all the steel. That is the story of my life. Need lots and lots of steel, always. Alright, let's farm a little steel real quick. Only take a second. Swap out the nerd goggles for the see through the ground nerd goggles. Save just in case. Go zooming around looking for some iron. I think we've got some coal. We can farm a little, but I don't think we need much. It's beautiful. Look at those puddles. Oh, look at all that evaporation. Wow. I love evaporation so much. Big fan of evaporation. Nice. It's taking a minute. It's gonna take a minute. It's gotta chill off a huge amount of liquid. We are seeing it's going up. It's getting closer. This one hasn't turned on yet, but it will. And then it will be colder than 780 degrees. it's too warm. 50 degrees is coldish. That's almost cold enough to not, like, die. I think 50 is the threshold where we die. Alright. Steel. Turn on furnace. Check it's empty. Save just in case. This is an easy one though. 3-to-1 ratio. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2. Oh, let's turn that off. 3, 1. Give it a little heat. Help it smelt a little faster. Probably should get rid of the bad gas and then give it a little heat. Let's do one more stack. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1. Okay. How are we doing? Is this a vacuum? It is. Good. Almost done. Turn the activate switch. Dump the cold gas. Add a little hot gas. That should do it. There it is. Break that into chunks. I feel like this playlist is just playing the same songs over and over now. I think it went into recommendation mode where it kind of stops trying. Yep. What about something totally different? How's this one? Alright, where was I? We needed steel for something. You. For the digital valve. Okay. Steel for digital valve, and we need some radiators. A few of those would be nice. Let's let it spit out a few digital valves. And keep a collection of those ready to go. Then we need a radiator. Pipe radiator, which is gold and steel. Alright, what else do we need? Digital housing and an IC chip. We have both of those. We need a sensor. We've got that. Okay. Almost ready to get this all set up. We don't want to turn it on yet, though. We need to wait until our coolant is actually cold. Otherwise, we're going to try and cool off our room with 500-degree gas, which is not a good idea. I'm going to just let it craft as many as it can. I think the amount it has here is more than enough. We got 9. Alright, into our breathy room. It's so nice to not have to manage airlocks. I love airlock code. Very nice to have. Alright. Eat and drink and all that jazz. Okay. This guy has a digital valve. Goes here. Don't want to do it that way. I kind of want to face it the other way. Just to be prettier. I'm gonna face it to the ceiling. It's fine, it'll still work, doesn't matter. And we can route the power with, it'll just look better. Alright, what else? What are we doing? We need a housing here. Just doing right. Here's good. It's gonna need an IC chip. Okay, and then we will have normal pipe for this side. And this is going into the big rectangles, the big squares. So this should have like no heat exchange with the outside. But we are using the normal pipes, which do heat exchange, since the whole purpose of this is to exchange heat. But let's do that. That's probably plenty. With a few radiators. Face them in. Okay. Paint all of this blue and add the smallest amount of pollution to the room to make it more attractive and more just cleanly labeled, basically. Good idea to paint things for labeling. Alright, plug it all in and then program it. Oh, why is that not working? What are you blocked by? Heavy cable corner? Show me. Yes. Yes, you are, aren't you? But what is that even plug into? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember now. Okay, that's an easy fix. Let's fix that real quick. That's our windmill transformer power. We can just put that in the air floating a little bit and that'll be no problem. Let's just reroute it very slightly. So right here, this corner guy is causing all the trouble. We can just do up and over and connect. There, same thing. Okay. It's so much faster. Oh my god, technology. Okay. Last thing this needs is a sensor. Hi, kitty. What's up, buddy? I'm gonna give you love soon. I fed you. Did you notice I opened the window for window time? Go have some window time, my friend. We'll get you more playtime momentarily. It's almost playtime. Alright, let's go there. We need a sensor is the last thing here. That'll do. Hi, kitty. Kitty's getting needy. He's bored. He's been patient for like 8 hours. He's had enough of being patient. It's playtime. I agree. Alright, then let's label stuff. This is our room sensor. Let's say room gas sensor. This is our cooling valve. Okay. And let's write a program. This one should be super simple. I will take off my suit. We will grab that IC chip. Throw down a laptop. And edit. Can leave the clock running so that we will keep the air conditioner going. I want to see the air conditioner turn on ideally. Like all the way. I want to see the last chamber reached and our coolant actually cooling. That's the dream. We're 1 or 2 chambers away from that. Alright, let's see. I will just start with the template code here. Since the template code is super empty and simple. So this just has an example for a device, an example for a variable, a hard-coded value. It's got a main loop that waits a tick, jumps to load variables to do whatever variable loading we need to do. Hi, kitty. Oh, he's on the table now. He's so fucking cute. Oh my god, he can jump. What an amazing cat. it goes to load variables, then it returns to here where we can set stuff. So this is going to be our air conditioning script. For variables, we're going to have d room sensor, room gas sensor is d0. We're going to have alias d cooling valve is d1. We're going to have the temp is a variable, which will be in C. We will have a max temp. This is already pretty much ready to go. Let's shoot for 20C. So we'll say 20C. And then we will say, we'll have one more variable for alias V cooling valve is open. That's going to be R14. Okay, so pretty simple here. We've just got our temperature and then a boolean for whether or not we're going to open and close the valve. And the two devices are just a gas sensor and a cooling valve. Okay, so jumping into our script, let's go down to loading our variables. We will load into vtemp the room gas sensor temperature, and then we will subtract, we'll convert it to Celsius. Right now it's in Kelvin. So we will subtract, storing into vtemp again. We will subtract, what is it, 273.13, I believe. We will subtract that from the temperature, which is going to convert it into Celsius. Okay, so now we have loaded the temperature, and then we need to compute our variable for cooling valve is open. So if the temperature is greater than our threshold, then we want to open the valve. So set greater than into V cooling valve is open is going to be if the V temp is greater than max temp, then that will be a 1, otherwise it will be a 0. So now we are computing our various values. All we need to do is assign it. We say we say set D cooling valve on is equal to V cooling valve is open. Okay, so we're grabbing our temperature, we're converting it into Celsius, we are computing our cooling valve is open so that when the temperature is above the max threshold of 20C, then that's going to open, and then finally we're assigning that here. So this should do what I was saying. Basically, if we're ever too hot, it'll open that valve, the room's immediately going to cool off rapidly, and then it'll close that valve. It'll probably be like flickering for a tick or two a couple times a day. It's going to need very, very, very little time open. And that's going to automate our temperature. It should hold 20 pretty exactly. We'll see how much more it cools. When we open the valve, it's going to put negative 60C gas into that area. But that should equalize with the environment pretty quickly, especially if we have a bigger room that this is in. Maybe because we're in a really small room for now with not a ton of air. Maybe it'll drop all the way to like 18 or something. But this will pretty much hover around 20 and never let it pass 20C. So that's pretty much it. Let's call this... what do we want to call it? Air conditioning? Coolant? AC? Okay. Confirm. Export. Put it in. Turn it on. Breaks immediately. And that will give us the variables here. So this is the room gas sensor. Room gas sensor. This is the cooling valve. Cooling valve. Okay. That is it. Very easy program. So that's going to automate our air conditioner. And then the only thing is, the air conditioner is currently hooked up to... I can't see the line here. There it is. The line is still at 457 degrees Celsius, which is just a little bit hotter than we want. So we need to wait to see this actually cool off more. But there we go. Okay, so that's a big improvement. We made more room in here. We've got a fridge. We have air conditioning set up and ready to go as soon as the cooling station is cooled off more. I'm going to go double check that real quick. And then I think it's about time for kitty playtime. I need to give Kitty some love. He's a good boy. He deserves playtime. Oh yeah, and then we also got a nice new airlock for this room. That's much nicer. Moving between rooms. All of our airlocks are now fully automated. And remove any possibility of human error. Which is definitely good to have. Alright, how's our cooling? This one's got pressure. We're on to the second to last chamber here. Cool. Alright. So this one is filling. It's just getting going. I think we're probably about 20 or 30 minutes of playtime away from this guy filling enough to start going into the last chamber. But we can see it looks like it's working. You can see the first chamber is hot with a high pressure. And it's not passing that 5.8 threshold. That's turning, you can see the vent turning on there every time it passes that threshold. Great. And then that exhausts into space. Perfect. So we're seeing the air go all the way out on this side. We're seeing this one is holding the 5 threshold. Again, we see that going. This one's holding the 4 threshold. Temperature is dropping each step. 143, 111, 50. And then this guy is going to cool off more with some time. And then finally this one's going to go all the way down to like -80. And this one, this chamber, is the one that has gas exchange. We've got radiators lining the wall with our coolant. We've got big radiators down below. So we can just dump heat into this line. And then it is going to get chilled by that last room. This is looking good. I think we're solid here. Anything funky going on? Any broken pipes or anything? Are we done? I'm still gonna be, I feel like there's probably gonna need 1 or 2 more small tweaks maybe. We need to see this run for hours. And we need to see it reach the completely full condition for all chambers. But I think this is it. I think we're, at the very least, we're like 99% of the way there. We might be totally done with cooling. We can start leaning on this coolant line to do our everything. Alright, I think this is a good stopping point. This is good progress. I'm happy to see this working. Give it a little bit of time. This is going to cool off our base. We could start growing a lot more air, or growing a lot more plants if we want to. Start mass producing oxygen. We need to get air collection. We can just pull directly off the cold air tank here. This is already just completely filled with volatile and carbon dioxide. So we can just pull from this, filter out carbon dioxide, filter out volatile, use that to fill up other containers for just those resources, and then we can combine that with heat exchangers and this super cold pipe to hold both of those down to 20 C or so, get them down to room temperature. We can use the volatile and oxygen to create fuel. We can use the carbon dioxide to feed straight into the plants and make sure they've always got something to eat. And then we could start mass producing resources, in particular food and water and air, that sort of thing. So this is huge. This is like absolutely going to be the backbone of the base and getting us to a point where we're fully sustainable and have complete cycles where we can generate air and gather volatiles and turn it into fuel, turn that into water, cool off the water, plug that back into the plants, have a full loop, and then start eating plants. And even like if we want to, we can sell resources. But this is how we get away from traders, basically. We don't need to trade for food and water after this is up and running. That being said, we still need to trade just a little bit. Not a ton. Let's check on the water supply. Water supply is at still about 300 liters. About 400 liters. So we've got a good amount of liquid. But we'll probably need to buy a little bit more water before we start producing our own. Probably need to buy a little more food. We could start growing potatoes next time perhaps, and then just like eat potatoes. We can make more advanced, better foods later, but if we just have like backup potatoes, we should never die, basically. We're reaching a point where we're going to be in a good spot. Another thing we can do for our tank, for our oxygen tank that we're using in our suit, we can cool off some oxygen all the way down to like 5C or 10C and use that in our tank so that when we're out and about, we have very cold air that'll keep us cold, and we'll be moving less air from our air tank into our waste tank. That'll be nice to have a little bit of air conditioning there. And we can even use that cold carbon dioxide, the 20C carbon dioxide, not only to feed our plants, but that'll be our new jetpack fuel. So that we can use a jetpack inside of the base and fly around, and we'll just be dumping cold carbon dioxide that the plants will eat eventually. So that's a perfect fuel for flying around wherever we want to. So that is a lot of good upgrades that are not more than like an hour or two away, I think. It's going to be pretty easy. And at that point, we're really reaching the later game. We can start not worrying about dying and just expanding and building stuff and having fun. So that will be fun. Not bad. That's a good session. I'm glad to see that work. It only took 3 days of work to get that cooling working. But the cooling does appear to be working now. Happy to see it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back soon. I'll do some streaming tomorrow probably, unless I don't.